Hello and welcome back to somebody on the respect and to another edition of Raw Out of 10. And yeah, it's a busy episode of Raw this week, I've got to be honest, because we've got, of course, the build up to Saturday night main event this weekend. Of course, Money in the Bank qualifiers continuing. So yeah, there's a lot of high profile stuff happening on the Red Brand at the moment. And we started things off with Logan Paul, who kicked off the show to discuss his World Heavyweight Championship match against Jey Uso Saturday night. Interestingly, it drew the ire of Gunther, who interrupted him and came face to face with the Maverick. After lulling Paul into a full sense of camaraderie, Gunther warned him the fate that awaits him if he robs the ring general of getting revenge on Uso on June 9th in Phoenix. Paul, unwilling to let things die, attempted to talk trash as Gunther departed the ring, only to turn around and eat super kick from the world champ. Uso had a departing word or two and stood tall to close things out. This was a solid opening promo, highlighting the moving pieces in the world title picture, both of whom Uso must keep his attention while also focusing on Rollins and Breakker. The tease of Gunther really treating Paul earned a nice reaction, and yeah, that could be a decent matchup if we ever get it. But our first match of the night was Penta and AJ Styles taking on Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Balor and McDonough of the Judgment Day defeated Penta and Styles thanks to interference from El Grande Americano. He masked Rudo, grabbed by Penta by the back of the head and delivered a headbutt, which was infinitely more potent thanks to steel plate loaded in his mask. Creatively ensures the ongoing rivalry between Americano and the real life brothers Penta and Rey Phoenix continues while the Judgment Day get a much needed win over Styles, meaning he remains one of the biggest threats to Dominic Mysterio's IC title. From an in-ring perspective, it was pretty solid as well. The chemistry was undeniable, and they had a red hot matchup that was all the way to the finish, really, with decent interference at the end. So yeah, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Next up was Natalya versus Roxanne Perez versus Becky Lynch, with the right to join Alexa Bliss in a women's Money in the Bank ladder match on the line. And yeah, a red hot action packed match. So all three combatants highlighted before Valkyria made her presence felt late in the match, preventing Lynch from earning the win via the manhandle stance to Natalya. With those rivals brawling around the ringside, Perez took advantage, delivering pot rocks to the Queen of Hearts and cashing her tickets to the Money in the Bank. Take three incredibly talented wrestlers, give them purpose for competing, enough TV to shine. They shine. That's, of course, what we got here. This was excellent, culminating with a finish which Lynch and Valkyria and Perez getting a much-needed win on her first night, mainly properly on Raw. Now, if only WWE Creative can find something better to do with Natalya, but she's having great stuff in Bloodsport and NWA, etc. at the moment, so I'm not going to complain too much. But yeah, this was good stuff. 7 out of 10. 2 weeks after he sent tag partner Austin Theory up to face the returning Celtic Warrior, Grayson Waller had an unwanted shot at defeating Sheamus as they squared off. Despite being seemingly outmatched, Waller put up a solid fight, hanging in there with the former WWE and World Champ and drawing the anger of the fans late. Late though, Sheamus punished him. Theory prevented his partner from taking the easy way out, setting him up to eat a broke kick as the Celtic Warrior and a half-all win. It's clear Austin's actions were intentional and part of Waller and their partnership's coming to an end. This was merely latest chapter in a deteriorating partnership, and yeah, it's still a solid performance from Waller. After a match, we saw Tyrese Halliburton reveal that Indiana Pacers star will be part of the DLC content in WWE 2K25, which is a nice little one. But yeah, for the match itself, 6 out of 10. Kind of a slow build, but a good win for Sheamus. Rhea Ripley then punched her ticket to the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match in a match against Kairi Sane and Zoe Stark, but not quite how she imagined. Earlier in the triple threat qualifying, Zoe Stark suffered a knee injury that led to her removal from the match and setting up a one-on-one battle between Mami and Kairi Sane. These two had never squared off one-on-one before, so taking that into consideration and the suddenness of all, what they did was fairly solid. The crowd was behind Ripley, greeting her with one of the loudest ovations of the night, and she was every bit the star she was. Sane held her own, firing off hard shots against the Eradicator, but winning off a spinning back fist, set up a head bump for the former world champ and the Riptide. Ripley winning makes sense given the pursuit of her title, and Sane has plenty of time to build momentum towards the right outcome. But yeah, not going to grade it, obviously due to the sensitivities, but yeah, good stuff. Jey Uso was then in action against Bron Breakker in our main event, and the second gen star uncorked his raw power and fury, punishing his long-time rival and using his superb athleticism and control pace. Every time Uso mustered a comeback, he cut him off. In one instance, he sent both himself and the babyface crashing over the announce table. A sit-out powerbomb coming out off the corner allowed Uso to score a near fall and at the same time create some of the much-needed separation. Chances this is awesome to build out, and Breakker attempted to use a chair, but Uso forced him. Heyman responded by tripping Uso out. Rollins hit the ring to draw the DQ, and that brought out Sami Zayn and CM Punk. A brawl ensued with them all spinning to the floor. And yeah, it's the last bit of hype for Saturday Night Main Event. This is until Paul came out of nowhere to knock Uso out. A strong match, coupled with a fun brawl and a great exclamation point in favour of Paul's sneak attack that made this main event segment a winner. The Uso is finding out how difficult it is to be hunted while still having other stories going on right now. But I thought, it created the kind of sense of chaos as well. So yeah, I kind of like it. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Overall, Raw this week gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode of Raw. For me, this is probably the best episode of Raw since WrestleMania. There's lots of great stuff on there. I thought all the matches were pretty solid. I think we're entertaining building out some really entertaining storylines at the moment. So yeah, this is really good stuff. And yeah, gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I'm definitely excited by the direction of Raw.
That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.